Hello, beautiful people. Today I'm gonna be going to the gym, and I think I'm just gonna hit a leg day. I haven't been to the gym in about 2 weeks, and hasn't been that great, but I've been adjusting and stuff. For most of y'all that know, I've moved to another city, so I've been, adjusting to moving and all that. But I'm gonna have to start getting into a routine soon, like next week soon. So, but I came home to visit my family for a little bit, so I'm going to go to the gym that I always go to back at home. I love this gym, it's super amazing, and we're gonna hit a little leg day. So I just got this energy drink from Alani New, and then I just have a banana and cheese because I didn't eat breakfast. So I'm just going to be starting out with a few stretches at the beginning of my workout. I'm mainly going to be focusing on mainly leg stretches, opening up my hip flexor, and stretching out my hamstrings. As you can see in my stretches, I really focus on opening up that hip flexor. Focusing on these stretches will help whenever I do squats and help me have more depth in my squat, so I'm just really opening that up. And right here I'm doing another hip stretch. You just go side to side on the floor, and this is a really good stretch if you can't really feel your inner thighs being opened up. And I just do a butterfly. And then right here I'm going into a deep squat, and I just sit there for a few seconds and I lean back and forth from side to side. This will really help improve your squat depth, and I feel like this has really helped with my squat form and getting closer to the ground. And the first exercise that I do is hip thrust. So I'm going in with these hip thrusts, and I really mainly just try to focus on when I get to the top, I add a little pump on the top, because for me it's really hard to feel it in my glutes whenever I do hip thrusts, and so adding a little pump on the top helps me to activate my glutes. And I will be doing 5 sets of hip thrusts, but in the next video you will see how I change it up a little bit. I don't go all the way down with my hip thrusts for the rest of the sets. I just go about midway, so I get a smaller range of motion to target my glutes. And whenever you are doing any form of hip thrust, you want to make sure that the bench is not too high or too low for you, because then you can be overarching your back and you will hurt your back. And you also want to make sure that your knees are pointed outwards to prevent any injury. And you also want to make sure that you're keeping your chin tucked into your chest. Now I'm going to be going into some squats. I am just using the barbell to warm up here, and I just do a few reps, usually like 8 to 15, just to make sure that my form is okay. And you really want to take your time with these just to make sure that you are not injuring yourself, and that you're all warmed up. As you can see, the angle isn't really the best, so I'm going to be inserting some squat clips that I have from previous workout sessions just so you can get a better idea of what I do. So first I start with a low weight, so I use 25-pound plates on the sides, and I'm just going to be doing about 8 to 10 reps usually is what I will start off with. And I really just focus on that depth, and I try to take them slow, make sure that my tail is tucked, make sure that I am bracing my stomach and my abs and using my core whenever I go down and come back up, and making sure that the bar is going in a straight path. And then I'm going into the second set, and I will be adding some weight and doing less reps, and then I also do the same thing for the third and the fourth set. Sometimes I'll do a fifth set, but I will decrease the weight on the fifth set. So say I increase the weight by 10 each time, then on the last set I will just go back to 25 plates to make it low weight for my deload set. For the next exercise, I go into RDLs, and I will be doing this with the barbell. I am really just focusing on form for these, and I usually just do RDLs with dumbbells, so I'm doing it with the barbell with no weight just so I can get the form down before I start adding weight. And I'm really just focusing on the hip hinge. I'm keeping my neck neutral and my aligned with my spine, and I'm just focusing on keeping that bar going straight up and down and sending my hips back. And also a tip for these, I always try to make sure the weight is in my heels, and it's okay sometimes if the front of your foot comes up off the floor. That just means that you're focusing it on your heel, and you'll feel it more in your glutes. And for the next exercise, I go into deadlifts. I usually do sumo deadlifts, and then I switch off to regular conventional deadlifts. I really do not enjoy doing regular deadlifts, so I always start out with sumo. But for sumo deadlifts, you really just want to make sure that your legs are at a width that's comfortable for you. Everybody's height is different, and so it might be different for everyone how far apart your feet are. And for me, this is what works best for me. And you really just want to be focusing on pushing those hips forward and making sure that your spine is neutral. You really do not want to treat this like it's a squat because you will hurt your back. And for your hand grip, you can either do a grip in the front, the back, or you can do one in the front and one in the back like I do. That's just most comfortable for me, so that's what I do. And then I'm going into conventional deadlifts here. I don't do these as often as I should just because I don't like them as much as sumo deadlifts, but this was my first time getting back into them, so they did feel a little bit weird, which is normal whenever you're first starting to get back into the gym. So just make sure whenever you're going back into an exercise that you're not hurting yourself, but you are starting at a low weight and you are focusing on your form first. Whenever I do deadlifts, I usually will alternate between sumo and conventional. If I am doing this, then I really won't increase the weight much. But if I am only focusing on sumo deadlifts, then I will usually increase the weight each rep and each set, and I'll usually do about 3 to 4 sets. And then I just go into dumbbell RDLs. Sometimes I will skip these if I feel like I got a good activation out of just using the barbell, but if not, then I will go into dumbbell RDLs and I will do about 3 to 4 sets of these. And for the last exercise, I will be starting off with a leg press on the machine, and you can use either the machine or the free weight leg press. I just use this one because it's easier to assemble. But I will be starting out with a low weight and I will be focusing more on my glutes, so I have my feet more towards the top. And I will do about 10 to 15 reps in the first set. And then I increase the weight and I do another 10 to 15 reps. So I will usually do both of these as a superset, and I will usually do 3 to 4 sets. And once I'm done with that superset, I go in and do a single leg press, and I usually do about 10 to 15 reps and I do about 3 to 4 sets. And that concludes today's workout video. I hope y'all enjoyed watching. This was me just getting back into the gym after being out for a while. So if y'all enjoyed, feel free to give me a like, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.